One last issue coming out of that game on on Sunday. Charean, you have a long history. Let's just start here. You have a long history of covering the NFL. You've covered it longer than I have. I've been doing it for 20 years. I've been a fan of the NFL since I was a little boy. And I first became a very ardent fan in the 1973 season. As it turns out, from 1974 through 1977, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who were just 60 miles away from where I grew up, and they were the team everybody in town except me rooted for. In hindsight, I wish I had not been a contrarian on that point, or I would have had a much more enjoyable childhood. They put together 43 straight games of 100 or more rushing yards. In all the years that I've followed and covered the NFL, I was not aware that was even a thing. I first became aware of it yesterday because the Ravens were at 42, and when they got the ball back with 3 seconds to play and needed a couple of yards to get the streak to 43, they decided to actually try to gain yardage instead of taking a knee and getting out of Dodge. Now, I ask you, and maybe you're going to surprise me here, were you even aware that that was a record, that was a thing until yesterday?
I was before yesterday, and perhaps it was just last week, but I had heard they were on this long streak with the 100 yards. So in the last couple of weeks I heard, because they were closing in on the record. But before that, no. And I don't want to call any kind of record a dumb record, but it seems like a dumb record to me.
This is a dumb record. This is not DiMaggio's hitting streak. This is
right.
Yeah, this is. I mean, yesterday they
don't stop the game.
We had Tom Brady becoming the all-time career passing yardage leader. We had Russell Wilson get to 100 wins faster than any other quarterback in league history. And there's that analytics mafia out there that will say that's not a stat either. Well, too bad. We got Andy Reid get to 100 wins with 2 different teams. And this, which doesn't belong and why? This. But it's given us some entertainment because we saw the video, the sideline video. Vic Fangio was pissed off about what the Ravens did. Here's a little back and forth. Here's Harbaugh yesterday, John Harbaugh, the coach of the Ravens, talking about why he did what he did. Vic Fangio saying what he had to say today, and Harbaugh's response. Enjoy the next 90 seconds or so.
That's one of those things that's meaningful, and it's one of those things that's, I think as a head coach, you got to be mindful of your team and your players and your coaches and what it means to them. It's a very, very tough record to accomplish, and it's a long-term record. So I'm not going to say it's more important than winning the game for sure, and it's certainly not. But as a head coach, I think you do that for your players and you do that for your coaches, and it's something that they'll have for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of bullshit, but I expected it from them. I've 37 years in pro ball. I've never seen anything like that. So, but it was to be expected, and we expected it.
Why did you expect it from them?
Because I just know how they operate. That's just their mode of operation there. Player safety is secondary.
I thought we were on good terms. We had a nice chat before the game. Known each other for a long time, but I promise you, I'm not going to give that insult 1 second thought. That's what's meaningful. What's meaningful to us might not be meaningful to them. Their concerns are definitely not our concerns. And, we didn't expect to get the ball back, but we decided that if we got the ball back, we were going to try to get the yards. And we got it back with 3 seconds left. So you're throwing the ball in the end zone with 10 seconds left. I don't know that there's a 16-point touchdown that's going to be possible right there. So, that didn't have anything to do with winning the game. So, like I said, what's meaningful to us might not be meaningful to them, and we're not going to concern ourselves with that.
The question remains, how meaningful is it objectively? How much does anyone really care about this record? Fangio upset. A lot of bleeps if we had the audio of this. Bleepity, bleep, 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 bleepers, bleep, bleepity was what Vic Fangio said yesterday. I wish there was a way to take a scientific poll of ardent football fans, both across the league and of the Ravens. Do you really care about this? And Charean, I wonder how much of the fact that it was a Pittsburgh record that made the Ravens, and specifically John Harbaugh, more determined to try to get it.
Yeah, you pointed that out in your post, Mike, and it was a great point that I hadn't even considered. But absolutely, I think that was a factor in this thing. And I get why Vic Fangio is mad, and I immediately texted you guys yesterday when they did this with 3 seconds left. I was amazed that it was Lamar Jackson running the ball at the end of this game, and fortunate that he didn't get laid out, because if the Broncos probably had known they were going to run, they probably would have tried to lay him out on that last play. But I also get the Ravens' point of the Broncos called 3 timeouts. They put this up on their website. The Broncos called 3 timeouts in the final 30 seconds while trailing by 16 points. They said, hey, if you don't want us to get the record and run the ball on the last play, then keep the ball. Don't throw an interception in the end zone. So I get what they're saying too, but I would not have risked Lamar Jackson there, Mike. But I'll say this, I love a good coaching rivalry, and I don't know that we've really had that here recently. This is fun. I can't wait for these guys to play again.
Absolutely. I hope they meet in the playoffs, and if not, I hope that the scheduling formula works out next year, that they'll play again. I only wish that they were in the same division so we'd be guaranteed a rematch during the regular season. And look, when you're down 16 points, I don't know at what point you just give up and say, there's no possible way we're going to get the fluke touchdown, 2-pointer, onside kick, recover, touchdown, 2-pointer, and tie it up. But it was a 2-score game. At some point in the last minute, Yogi Berra's cliche takes over. It ain't over till it's over, and it's over at that point. When a clock is running, at some point it is over. I just don't know at what point you say the hell with it, especially when you have a backup quarterback who's getting some reps, and you may need him next week. But set all that aside. When the Ravens get the ball back with 3 seconds left, I don't care what the Broncos did. I don't care about anything that preceded it. When you get the ball back with 3 seconds left and you're up 16 points, you take the knee and you get out of Dodge, and you don't expose anyone on either side of the ball to an unnecessary moment of contact that can result in an unnecessary injury. And I suspect, and I wish somebody had asked Harbaugh about this today, I suspect if he was asked about it, do you wish you had put your backup quarterback in, or do you wish that the ball had gone to someone other than Lamar Jackson? He would say yes and yes. If he were asked that question, I think that would be the answer. Lamar Jackson came out of the game healthy, though. Good news for the Ravens. He still needs a second contract, and he's exposed to risk continuously until he gets it.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.